want to go back to local politics now. We mentioned that there are local government elections in New South Wales today, on the weekend, but they're upcoming next month in Victoria. And I want to talk about the race for the Melbourne Lord Mayor's job, currently held by Nicholas Reese, Labor man, as you all know. Sky News viewers know him very well. But he's up against a challenger in Anthony Koutoufides, a former Carlton champion, and he joins me live from Melbourne. Anthony, thanks for joining us. Great to talk to you. I'm fascinated. I know, as a footy fan, long-suffering Adelaide Crows fan, I know a lot about your footy history. I admired you greatly as a player. I know you have a business in the fitness industry and run a gym as well. What's motivated you to get into local politics and run for the Lord Mayor?
It's a great question, Chris. Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I look back at myself and think, I had migrant parents born here in this most incredible city, and my dream as a young kid was either to represent Australia at the Olympics or play VFL footy back then, which then turned into AFL, and I got to live my dream. But I spent so many wonderful days and times in the city of Melbourne, and just to think if I can have some sort of impact in a positive way to leave Melbourne in a better place, if I get that opportunity, would be incredible. And so the city to me means so much, and when I think of my relatives and everyone that have come here to see me, I was so proud of the city, and so if I can have some sort of impact, I'll be thrilled.
Well, your running mates are Gladys Liu, the controversial former Liberal MP, and also property developer Injat Khan. Where are you getting the money for your campaign? Who's funding you? Is it developers? Are you the property developer candidate?
It's at the moment it is the team funding, and of course we've got to do some raising and get support from the public also. So there's a lot of people that have been behind us, and to be honest, the feedback from the people here has been incredible for me. I didn't expect it. I didn't know what to expect, but the people and the people here at the Melbourne City have just been wonderful and right behind us. And so it's been really something out of my comfort zone, but something I've now really grown into and really enjoyed. And to hear from the people, my job is really to make Melbourne the most livable city again if I have that opportunity. Is
it the case, though, that you're effectively representing property developers? Are they your supporters?
To be honest, whether it's property or business, it's all even to me. It doesn't matter who's behind me in my team. I'm here to be equal amongst everything, and whether they were part of the team or not, property is a big thing in our city, so we've always got to look at it. But like with everything else, it's not just going to be solely property, and some of the policies that we've come out with, we're going to look at everything and speak to the people in Melbourne and see what they want and bring into it. The e-scooters is a great example. I wasn't a big fan of them. I hate seeing them trashed around the city, left in front of shops, on footpaths. I worry for the elderly, but the people in Melbourne really wanted them, and so I had to find a way in how we could include it into it, and finding little areas of the city where they need to park e-scooters, and I really want to look at the speed limits and stuff like that, and if they don't park them in the appropriate areas, then they get a fine. And so all I want is a little bit of respect for the ratepayers' money. If we're offering that to the people, the public people, then they need to respect it.
Yeah, one of them scooted by you just a moment ago. Now, all CBDs have been smashed by COVID and lockdowns, obviously Melbourne more than any other, and Melbourne seems to be slower in bouncing back. You're talking about free fitness classes and free cups of coffee, anything to get people back into the CBD. We all understand the need to do that. But isn't your biggest problem here the state government? Doesn't the state government need to bring public servants back into the city?
Well, that's something like, obviously we're going to try to communicate with them and see what we can do in that sort of aspect. We need the public servants back. I know at the moment it's difficult for some people, but we need the city as number one priority. We can't force them back. It's really up to the state government. It's worked really well in Sydney. The other thing is I've just got back from Queensland and had to cut my trip short with my family because I have so much going on here. But the public system up there is incredible. 50-cent fare from Gold Coast to Brisbane. And so I think we need to do a little bit more here. It's not up to me. It's up to the state government and the private transport holders too. We want to bring concession rates transport into the city, in particular on a Friday that we've really identified. And we want to give. We're giving incentives like a $5,000 start-up cost for any new businesses that come into the city. There's all these events we want to introduce back here. We want to make it the most livable city in the world, and we need that vibrancy back. And so there's a lot of work to do, but we do need a bit of assistance from the state government.
Anthony, just briefly, have you ever been a member of a political party?
No, I haven't. No.
All right. So a true independent. And finally, Nicholas Reese, the current Lord Mayor, you would have caught up with him. You know he's a big Labor man. Do you also know he's a Carlton supporter and he's probably cheered you from the grandstands of Princes Park back in the day?
Yeah, I know he's a Carlton man. I accidentally bumped into him in a game. It was Carlton v Hawthorn, and I sat literally right in front of him, and he introduced himself, and we had a photo. Yeah, so it's the first time I'd met him, but I heard he was a Carlton man. So at least he's got the right team. He's picked the right team in the Blues.
Great stuff. Thanks for joining us, Anthony. I appreciate it.